Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Masterverse new Etheria Force Captain Adora slash Despara, because Mattel couldn't decide which one of She-Ra's aliases to give us, so they gave us both. Was that a good idea? I'm going to tell you right now, no, it wasn't, because Despara has a gray bodysuit, whereas Adora has like booty shorts and a white sweater and some kind of weird red onesie vest thing. It doesn't freaking work. Not for me, because not for nothing, she still got the Despara gloves and boots. Which, okay, that's not the worst thing ever, but I want to display this figure as Despara. Not boring civilian walking around the palace Adora. Like, when I buy a Despara figure, I want Despara. When I buy a Adora figure, I want Adora. I don't want both. That said, despite my gripes, this is brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel, who did a decent enough job at loading this figure up with accessories. So why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all of those, shall we? Starting off with a pair of fisticuffs. Some rock'em sock'em punch you in the face hands. That's always nice. We have the alternate head with the little, it's kind of a mohawk, I guess, or a shaved head look, which I guess fine, you know, Despara is known for that, kind of, sort of. We also get the Despara mask, which I guess it's a mask now. It used to be a full-blown helmet, but now it's just a mask, which, okay, I guess. And we also get, and it's a shame it only works on this head, we get this hoarded out She-Ra crown, but it doesn't work on the head with all the hair. So that's kind of weird. But it does fit on here just fine. It is a little bit looser than the mask, so I probably won't use it, but it's something different for that new Eternia flair. And then, of course, we get the Despara armor pieces, which I will show you how to attach momentarily, as well as Despara's trademark twin swords. What we don't get, again, is Despara's staff, and I can't help but feel that that has to do with this Adora head we didn't need. If we didn't get Force Captain Adora parts in this release, I would have scrapped the alt head and the fist hands, to be honest with you, to get the staff. I think more people would have preferred to have had the staff and, you know, maybe less Adora parts on this figure, and just gotten a flat-up Despara in the new Eternia motif, because I think if they had went 100% with it, it would have been a way better figure. But as far as Adora goes, this is the Adora head. It looks fine. It can rotate. It is kind of tight on there, so maybe heat it up before you just shove it on like I did. Shoulders can pop out, back down. They can rotate all the way around. She does have single jointed elbows, which don't do much of anything, so that kind of sucks. They do rotate. She has a swivel hinge wrists, wrong hinge for holding stuff. And then the diaphragm joint can lean that far back, that far forward. It can rotate and it can tilt. It does have rotation. Her hips can kick out to the side. They're not terribly loose, but they're loose enough. They can kick forward and back, and then she does have the drop down for all that's worth. But she does appear to have some gapping even when these are shoved up all the way. And like I said, not the loosest thing, but she does have a little wiggle here, but once you push it out, it stiffens up a bit. She does have a thigh cut that works okay. Double jointed knees work okay. And then swivel at the boot with a hinge in the foot and a rocker joint. Now, why don't we gear her up? Because this look is really freaking boring. And I still don't know why we didn't just get full-blown Despara, why we had to get like 50% Force Captain Etheria, 50% Despara. It don't work for me. It's not working for me. It's just kind of whatever. So let's see, there's one little snappy thing back here on her leg there. One little snappy thing on the other leg. I will say the other one's not as tight, but once you fasten the belt, that's when everything kind of comes together. Come together. Right now. And now you can see that, yeah, her leg's got some wiggle to it, but because of all this, it's not gonna move a ton. It kind of helps stiffen it up a bit. And then we got to pop her head off, which can be easier said than done sometimes. Like I said, heat it up if you got to. If it's really fighting you, don't just force it. Heat it up. Put the armor up and over. Flip the cape around. Then you got the two little fasteners on the back. You got the one. And you got the two. Pop that down. Whoop. And there she is with the torso armor. Now we'll pop her standard head on. A little warm breath just to soften the plastic a bit. And this is how she comes in the package. Something like this. Which, I don't know why they chose to display her unmasked. That's kind of stupid. But, whatever. And I can't help but feel that maybe this is like a Revelation carryover, or Revolution, whatever that show was called. Because we did see her at the end of Revolution. So I wonder if this wasn't planned for that, and since Revolution doesn't appear to be coming back anytime soon, we got this figure in lieu of that. But putting her swords in the scabbards on her back. They do actually snap in there, so they ain't gonna fall out. That's a plus. You don't have to push them in there all the way like that, but I'm gonna do that because that means they're not gonna fall out. Look at that. That's nice. That's a nice quality of life thing there. And then last but not least, we have the mask. I'm going to go with this mask because it's the Despara mask. Once you get it clipped in the right spot, it will stay on pretty snug. Again, you got to find that sweet spot. There we go. But there is Despara all armored up. Pretty self-explanatory, not too complicated, but you know, enough of a pain in the butt. It's probably make this video longer than it needs to be. So, with that being said, why don't we quit dilly-dallying and move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here's good old Despara alongside the rest of this, I'm going to call it the final wave of Masterverse figures. We have the new Etheria drag store, possibly to go with this Despara, as well as the new Etheria Keldor, who looks like he just took some acid in the face. Careful how you say that, it might slip out and come out the wrong way, That's what she said. And yeah, as you can see, as a female character, she's a little shorter than these two. That said, feels like Dragstore is significantly bigger than both of them, but maybe that's because he's a cyborg freak. Keldor, standard dude-sized figure, looks fine. Yeah, I think the scaling in the Masterverse line, while they scale quite a bit larger than your typical 1/12, 6-inch scale figure, I think amidst themselves, the females are decent size, the males are a decent size, and the more monstrous characters are also a decent size. So, getting them out of here. So we can bring in our two regulars. Mythic Legion's brother Mandibilith. His foot's giving out on me again. Jeez Louise. I need to upgrade him one of these days. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone, but rest assured, good old Despara here. He's definitely a card-carrying member of the men and women, in this case, in Red and Black Club. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and I'm going to stand by my previous statement in saying that, you ask me, I think the fine folks over at Mattel should have picked between Force Captain Adora and Despara for this release, because it doesn't feel like a great representation of either, if you ask me. For example, Despara does not have white arms and bare legs. She has a gray bodysuit and a staff to boot. Not to mention, I don't know what the deal with modern Despara figures is, but we're not getting the full helmet and or mask and cowl setup. We are getting a mask with an exposed cranium on the back, and, well, quite frankly, that is not what Despara looks like most of the time. That said, if you wanted a decent Force Captain Adora, it's not bad, but you're kind of stuck with the black gloves and boots, which, again, not accurate to how she looks. And she's short, a blaster on top of that. So, yeah, a mixed bag. A 50-50 mixed bag, if you ask me. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.